Scandinavian Bob here, hi. Wondering how to stop watching porn forever? Well, if so, you could start by taking a look at 5 common relapse dangers out there so that you can figure out clever ways to get around them. Number 1. Lack of sleep. Did you know that you have significantly less willpower and self-control if you're sleep deprived? No? Well, now you know. And when I'm reading my own rebooting journal, I can clearly see how often I relapsed after having a night or two of almost no sleep. Now, I know this one can be a tough one to navigate, as insomnia is often a part of rebooting. But you still need to be aware of it so you can take precautions. One example could be, for example, limiting your internet use those days when you are running low on sleep. Now, after a night of insomnia, we oftentimes still do pretty well during the first half of the day, but towards the ending, the lack of sleep usually catches up with us. So it's good to be prepared for that so you can think ahead and perhaps shut down your phone and internet connection during that evening. Number 2. Alcohol. Yes, indeed, I have lost count of how many times I've seen people relapse because of alcohol. And yes, it happened several times to me as well back when I was rebooting. We all know that alcohol lowers our inhibition and self-control. But did you know that even if you take precautions to avoid relapsing during the day you're drinking, perhaps you lock yourself out from the internet by using some kind of blocker, well, you still have an increased risk of relapsing the following 1 to 3 days. You see, your dopamine levels will be lower for a day or two after drinking, and your brain is then going to start to look for some kind of shortcut to spike it again. And what could be easier for it then than to fire up a good old porn site? Not only that, but your sleep quality is absolutely horrible during the night you have been drinking. And I just told you how important sleep is for self-control. And as if this wasn't enough, drinking also weakens your prefrontal cortex a bit, which is the part of the brain that is responsible for self-control. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible to reboot while having a few drinks here and there, but at least you need to be aware of the increased risk if you choose to do so. Number 3. Excess sugar intake. Now, this one is different for everyone, but I have to tell you, I can't even count how many times I relapsed if I went crazy sometimes and had 2 donuts or something similar during my coffee breaks. And indeed, I see this with a lot of my coaching clients as well. You see, that massive load of sugar spikes both your dopamine and your blood sugar pretty high. But the problem is the crash that follows a couple of hours afterwards. They both rebound to below your baseline levels. And again, just like with the alcohol, your brain is going to try to find some quick way to raise your dopamine again. I call this phenomenon waking the sleeping dopamine bear. You see, oftentimes we wake the sleeping dopamine bear by engaging in some low-value dopamine activities. And then the bear is going to start to look around for more dopamine after that. And the dopamine bear can be particularly hard to control when it comes to sugar, because during a blood sugar crash, we already have lower self-control. That's just the nature of low blood sugar. So a tip here could be, if you notice that you have woken your dopamine bear by engaging in some instant gratification activities, then go do some physical exercise after that to raise your dopamine levels a bit. Yeah, give it some more high quality dopamine so that it calms down again. Number 4. Social media. Yes, so many guys end up relapsing because of aimless browsing on social media. And I was no exception to this. Oh man, social media is full of visual triggers, and you don't have to spend a lot of time there before you see some super hot babe showing off her, well, let's just call it female attributes. Man, you can even run into very explicit, almost hardcore porn gifs on there. And if you're tired after your workday, your willpower is already going to be on the lower side. Yeah, so do be careful with social media, at least in the beginning of your reboot. Why not do like I did and set some rules for yourself here? For example, no social media for the last 3 hours before going to bed, or something similar. Number 5. Stress. Stress is perhaps the biggest emotional trigger there is. So much so that I have even heard some addiction experts say stress plus dopamine equals addiction. Wow, some pretty big words there. But oh yes, I personally lost count of how many times I relapsed myself because of this back when I was rebooting. I will make a separate video where I talk more about how to cope with stress during rebooting, so consider subscribing for that. But in the meantime, be mindful of it. Take precautions on those days you know you have something stressful coming up. Now, if you're really struggling with relapses, then please take a moment to listen to this. If you need help with this, I recommend you check out Dopamine Discipline, an online course for people who want to stop using adult sites. The course is created by a licensed therapist using a new revolutionary HCT method. Now, this stands for Habit Construction Therapy, and it produces absolutely phenomenal results. I have literally seen guys who have been addicted for decades manage to quit in just 7 days after signing up to this course. Just click the link under the video, read the testimonials over there, and you'll see what I mean. Now, the course is created in a step-by-step way with pre-recorded videos to watch in every module, along with powerful exercises for you to do. The modules are set up in a way that they will give you everything you need in order to quit using adult sites for good. And not only that, they are actually created in a way that also help reduce your cravings and your urges. On top of all of this, you also get to have frequent live coaching calls with the therapist or some of the coaches there. Now, you don't have to participate in those if you don't feel like it, but man, you should really take advantage of it, as it is impossible to overstate just how valuable that is. And as if that wasn't enough, when signing up to the course, you also get your own accountability group, a group with 3 to 4 guys that you can communicate with and get support from 24/7 on, for example, WhatsApp or whatever media you choose, and you get to support them as well, of course. And hey guys, accountability is extremely powerful when it comes to giving up adult sites. Yeah, I seriously believe that this is the best online course for overcoming a PMO addiction you can currently find. And if you're sick and tired of relapsing and you just keep spinning your wheels, then you cannot find a better time than right now to put your life in order. So do like thousands of other men have already done and sign up to this online course so that you too can get rid of the pain for good. Just click the link where it says Dopamine Discipline right now, and you can check current pricing over at the sales page. They also have a light version and different paying options if you happen to be short on cash right now.